I have open WebStorm here. So here we have discussed MongoDB CRUD operations. Let me open once. Yeah. So we discuss how to perform the CRUD operations with the MongoDB cloud and also the MongoDB local. So both we have discussed. But as of now, what we have also, I mean, completed from MongoDB is we have done the local, I mean, the shell commands, how to do the MongoDB operation that we have discussed, and also we have done with uh, the local JavaScript. I mean, the standalone JavaScript program we have finished, and now the plan is we had already finished the REST API with Express.js. Okay, so let me open this. In REST API, uh, we made see we made uh, the complete REST API system where we can get the employee, create employee, update employee, and all this. But the only thing is, we have discussed till now only through the JSON. Now the plan is we are going to create um, a database, and we're going to do all the code operations with MongoDB database, and that to the local as well as the cloud. Okay, that's the plan. So, and also we'll test it. That's the last one, and then we'll start TypeScript. Okay, I'll do one thing. Let me. I'll just copy as it is because I want to do the same setup, but I don't want to disturb the JSON formats. So I'll just copy as it is. I'll just paste in Node.js. So I'll just make it as 13. So express REST API underscore MongoDB. That's what JSON previously. I'm just shifting to MongoDB. Yep. So everything is same, nothing to change here. And only extra thing is we need to install the MongoDB and configure MongoDB. Okay. So when I go to the package.json, yes. But body parser and express has not installed because I removed the node modules folder. I'll do that first and then I'll install MongoDB and then I'll connect and then we'll also modify this router which store data to the database. And then finally we'll test with the Insomnia software. Okay, go to, let me select this to install these two dependencies. Let me just select, right click, open in terminal. Yep. So here I just hit the command npm install to install all the dependencies which is there in the package.json. It means the express and the body parser. Yeah, installed. And then let me install MongoDB as well. So npm install MongoDB hyphen save. Enter. Yeah, install successfully. Now, the see here. Mm, see, we have Express for creating a server, and we have body parser to handling the form data, and MongoDB to store the form data to the database. Okay, fine. One more thing I want to tell you here is scripts. Okay, so till now, how are we starting the server? We are starting a server with a command called node-mon space app.js. Okay, I'll tell you one more way to start the server. What is that is you can make a script in the package.json. So I show you that. I don't need a script now. I mean, I don't need a test command here. Let me remove this. Yeah, I'll make a new script that is start script. Okay, so why start script is it is to start a Node.js server. Okay, so what is the command we are executing over there is node-mon space app.js. Okay, so that particular command I have made it as a start script. So going forward, so how are you going to start the application is if you have a start script, just execute the start script. It automatically do this particular command. But how to execute a the start script? Any script if you want to run, there is a command npm start. It executes start script, and there's something called npm tester to execute test commands like that. Okay, so let me run the program with npm start. So this will automatically trigger the start script, and that executes notebound, and the same way it executes the application. Okay, so before I start the server, I have to do some modifications in the program itself. So let's go back to app.js. See, here we have express and we have router, body parser, everything is good. But only thing is which we don't have a MongoDB uh, to configure. So let's get MongoDB. Okay, so let me go to database folder. In database folder, we have employees.json. Okay, so let me shall we delete? Yeah, I'll delete JSON file because I don't need JSON anymore. Okay, so refactor gone. Okay, so now in database folder, I create another file to perform a database operation. So I'll just right click new JavaScript. Let's say DB operations, DB operations. Yeah. So this file is to connect to the MongoDB. So one more thing, we have done the MongoDB with three ways. One is using shell, one is using a standalone JS program, and then now we are doing with a website. Okay, the complete server. So shell, how we connect to the server is just we enter the Mongo command, or for the cloud we have connected this connection URL, right? In the command line we have connected. And for standalone, how you have done is see DB code operations. Let me go to the local. Yeah, for local, how we have done is we get the Mongo client, get the URL, database name, and clients, and we have done everything here. See, we got database connection, we have done the logic, and we close the connection. Okay, so this is the process of local. For testing purpose, we can create a connection for standalone JavaScript program, but here it is a server. So from server, how to connect to the program, it's different again. So I have already notes for this one, or else this one. Yeah, just see here. This constant MongoDB is equal to you get the MongoDB loaded, and then you get the MongoDB clients. Here, what we have done. See, here we just made a .mongo client. You can do either ways, anyways. And then URL. So what is the URL to connect to your database and your database? And this is a function to create a database connection, and then it returns database connection as well. So Mongo connect is a function which having a callback. So internally, Mongo client dot connect to the URL, and then it's a promise. So then see DB is equal to client dot DB. So whatever the database you are able to connect, so that DB is going to return back here. Okay, and then uh, this is a function you have to call and get DB. So this function is to return database. See, I tell you, there is a database variable is created. So this variable is assigned with a database connection. So how to get this database connection object is through this function. See, whenever I'm trying to connect to that, client is equal to db is equal to client.db. So you get db assigned over here. So this particular connection object I use for any type of operations. I need this code. Okay, and also I exported two functions. One is Mongo Connect and one is getDB. Uh, so for URL, we want to change this because I don't need the same database here. I'll make it as database name is called employee minus portal. Okay, I create a database name employee portal. Okay, so meanwhile, I also open the compass because I have to see the tables over there. Okay, maybe it takes time to load. So meanwhile, what I do is I'll just copy this and I'll just paste here. Okay, so this is to create database connection object and one minute. I think local is this one, right? App name database not required. Yeah. So I have connected to the local 127.0.0.1 I have admin config HCLDB, Infosys DB, and local. So I don't have the table called employee. What do you call employee portal? So that's okay. No, fine. So Mongo Connect is done. But yeah, so I have done with the connection. So how can you connect to the MongoDB and which place you have to connect? It means so when you have to get the connection object in server side is so whenever server is going to start because so whenever the server is going to start so that time you have to make a database connection. So as soon as server started, it also makes a connection to the database object and then it keeps ready. So that's every operation you are doing with a client and database, I mean the server. So the same connection object, you're going to use it. So whenever you start a server. So when I'm starting a server is in my app.js. See how I'm running the program. See, I show you. I'm starting the application with the command called npm start. So when you hit npm start, it's going to execute a start script. And what was the start script is node one space app.js. So in app.js, we have server startup logic. So that's going to execute. So here we have to create database connection. So I show you. Let me go back to app.js. So I have Express here. Yes, exactly here. So whenever app.listen port number and host name, so whenever you are calling this, so this is the place where the server startup is loaded. So this is the exact place where server is going to start. So here only we have to make a call to the database to get the database connection object. So what I do is I'll just load that database. So constant MongoDB is equal to require dot slash database folder slash db operations. Yeah, so I got MongoDB and this is having a function called Mongo Connect is having a callback. So I'll do here. So let's say so get the database connection object. Uh, okay, before server starts. Okay, so what I do is I write MongoDB dot Mongo Connect and this is having a callback and keep this app.listen inside of it. Okay, so whenever you're calling the Mongo Connect, so what happened is gonna call this function. So here it will connect to the MongoDB this particular URL and it creates database connection objects and store. So once successfully the database connection object is created, then it's carry forward for the callback. I mean, it just continue the callback, calling the callback. So what is a calling the callback? In callback, I have a function of app.listen. So once the server connection is done, once a database connection is done, then only server is going to start. Okay, that's the logic, and then it continues. So once you call means first time when you call the application, when you start the application, it's create database connection and also start the server, and that stores in this particular variable, and that variable we're going to use for all DB operations because I have a function called getDB. This returns the same database global variable, and using this I can perform a database operations. So I'll just save it and let me start the server first. So CLS, yeah, I'll just do a npm start because I have made a start script and press enter. So it's executing the node mon space app.js. See, and we got a deprecation warning regarding the MongoDB. So connected to MongoDB successfully. So database connection is performed successfully, and the server also started at this particular port number. Let me click on this. Yes, I got server up and running, and let's make the API calls to make the DB operations with the MongoDB database. Okay, so now what you do is, mm, yeah, go to the router once, go to router. Yep. So here, first of all, what are we doing is read all the employees. So we have to fetch all the employees from database. If you want to get database, let me load the database here. So constant db is equal to let's take like this. Mongo is equal to require dot slash dot slash database folder slash database operations. Okay, and here you can do the function called mongo dot get db. Yes. Okay, so I just loaded that custom module with mongo. So now what I want to do is I have to return the employees from database. So I'll just delete this. I don't need this part now. I need to make with database. So I'll just, if you want, I'll just comment out. Yeah, here. So get, I'll just make a comment. Get database connection object. So how to get is let db is equal to mongo, that's our variable, dot get db is a function to returns underscore db, and this db dot collection you have to do insertion, I mean sorry, fetch. But for fetching we don't have any data in database, correct? I'll do one thing, I'll just insert some data for time being, and then I'll start retrieving that data. This looks good. So what I do is we have a JSON, right? Where is that? Yeah, here database JSON. Yes. So this JSON data, I think is having some 11, 9 employees. Yeah, I need this JSON. So let me copy. I mean, what fields are there? ID, first name, last name, email, gender, IP address. Okay. Or else I'll create it because why to use the same. I'll create a new data first. So I go to Google and I just type Mongo, not Mongo, it's Mokoro to generate some random data. So go here. Okay. So we have ID, first name, last name, email, gender, IP address. Okay, looks good. But thing is, one more thing I want to tell you. When we are dealing with the JSON formats, we are only dealing with the ID. Okay, because we can easily find out a unique data in a JSON using the ID. Okay, But here in database, we don't need this ID because the MongoDB itself is gonna create some ID. See, I'll show you. Suppose in HCLDB, there are a lot of employees. So here you may mention this ID, or else we have a unique ID like this. So using this ID, we're gonna fetch the data. Okay, so this is the ID of each record. Okay, uniquely you can find out. Okay, so don't depend on this ID. Always depend on this ID because this is uniquely created for our records. So I just use this ID and I don't need this ID. Okay, so what's my plan is I didn't need this ID. I just delete this. Only first name, last name, email, gender, IP address. Enough. So I'll just create some around 10 records in a JSON format. No null values. Yeah, fine. I'll just download. Okay, so let me open there. Yeah, so I got some 10 records. Let me insert these records as of now. Copy. So how to insert? Uh, I'll do one thing. I have to create database and all first. So go to command line. So go to Mongo. Yeah. So it's connected to the local, and here show DBs. So I have these databases. Let me create a new database. That's employee portal. Let me check the spelling. Yeah, employee minus portal. Okay, so DB, sorry, use employee portal. Okay, and here I create one collection. That's employees. So DB dot create collection, and what's my collection name is employees, and press enter. Yes, it's created. You can even check. So show DBs. Now I got employee portal database. If I go there, yes, it is switch, and this says show collections. I got employees. So now in employees table, I want to create, I want to insert some data. So what I do is I directly go to here, just say db dot employees dot insert many. Just for time being, I need some data inside database. So db dot employees dot insert many, and let me insert all these records together. Let me just copy this and back to here. Let me hit the command and press enter. Yes, I got data. So go to MongoDB Compass and just refresh. Yes, I got employee portal. Inside, I have employees table. In that, we have the 10 records, and we don't have ID. Just we have only first name, last name, email, gender, and IP address. Okay, looks good. And we just only depend on this the MongoDB specific ID. Fine. So now we have a database ready. So now the plan is back to application, app.js. I think router. Yeah. Let me go back to the get employees. Yeah. So whenever you make a read operation slash employees, so I need to get fetch data from database. So how to fetch is db dot collection. Uh, why it's not coming? One second. Mm, let me check. Am I configured MongoDB? Libraries, yeah, MongoDB configured. That's fine. Yeah, that's right. So db dot collection of employees table, employees dot insert, not insert, is a find, right? You have to fetch record. So find no condition dot to array, and here we'll be having a function. So this function returns an error and the record. Okay, not record, it's a docs. Okay, so db.collection of employees, and from the employees table we have to fetch the records, and I have not given any condition because we have to fetch all the records and convert in array format. This docs contains the data, and thus I want to display back. So what I do is mm, JSON, not JSON, response dot JSON, or else I'll just test. Let's do a console.log once because I want to know what data comes. Docs. Okay, let me save it, and let's check. When I hit a URL, and that too, what URL? This is configured with slash API. So slash API slash employees. I get this data. Okay, I'll just open a console window and back to the browser because get request you can try with browser. So http colon slash slash 3000 slash API slash employees and hit enter. It's looking for, but I got the data. Yes, looks good. And we got data from a database. Okay, that's fine. And close it. Okay, so now what I do is I say let employees is equal to docs. So now just respond with response dot JSON of employees. So these employees I'm going to return from the response. Okay, let me test this application. I don't need this now. Delete this. Only database. Yeah, let me test this application with Insomnia software. Okay, go to. Let me open Insomnia.
Sir,
Hello. Yeah,
yeah,
Shruti.
sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the previous code, we are using an array.
Huh.
Yeah, why we are using an array? We can
This
print
one
directly use. Yeah.
is a pretty fun function. It's not. We are not doing anything
No,
here.
no,
Hmm,
no.
hmm.
Why we are using that?
This one
Yeah,
is a function. It's a pretty fun function because the list of employees how you retrieve because it's an object, right? This is also an object.
yeah.
Like collection of objects is an array, right?
No, no, sir. Actually, we are using the find the find method,
Huh.
find function. So
Huh.
it can print directly, like it can display all
Maybe
the
you're
employees
thinking,
roles and that.
understood. Maybe you're thinking like find dot pretty that we used previously. That's a shell command. It's a difference.
Yeah.
It is no, no. We already discussed that, right? Shell command is different. I should just open the documentation once again. 1 minute. I think that is not there here. Something DB operations. Yeah. See, we have three approach, right? One is shell and one
Yeah.
is standalone. So
Yeah.
shell, what we are doing is, see, find
Mhm.
db.employee.find. We got data. This is a command from Windows. I mean, command prompt.
Okay.
This is different. And when you are doing with the standalone JavaScript program, from actually JavaScript program is like this: insert one and see find dot to array. That's what this is. The I show you the both the differences. This is and this is. See, it's different. This is from shell. I think you're thinking about this one. This is shell.
Yes.
So not only JavaScript developer, everybody used to do this command from the command line. But when you're
Yes.
writing actually
Shell command.
program, it is like this.
But both we are using for displaying the data.
Retrieving data, but it is Windows command is different. Na?
Okay. Okay. Okay, I got.
You made cd and make directory mkdir like this in Windows, but
Oh,
actually when it's come to the writing a program, it's different.
okay.
It's a JavaScript program now. See,
Mm,
and also see db dot collection of employee dot find. That's a difference.
okay.
Yeah. So where we are, yeah. So I have opened Insomnia software, but I have already some records. I mean, some requests. I'll delete all the requests. I don't need them. Okay. So all records remove, and I'll just make a new request. That is get uh, get all employees. Get all employees. So it's a get request, and click on create. Yeah, let's make the path. It is http colon slash slash 127 1 colon 3000 slash employees, um, not employees, it's a API slash employees. Okay, so this is the request. So when I click on send, yes. So now see, I'm able to fetch the records. I'm able to fetch all the records from database. Okay, fine. So this data is coming from Amata Windows. It is from its database. Yeah, fine. So get all employees is done. Okay, let me go back to this here. Get all employees done. Let me fetch a single record with the ID. Okay, so here we were using normal ID. Now I want MongoDB underscore ID. So I'll just get the ID, and this ID, with this ID I have to fetch the record. So I'll delete this. We don't need the read file and all. Yeah. So get DB connection object. So let DB is equal to mongo dot get DB function, and DB dot collection of employees dot find. Yeah, I had to make an object here. Find dot to array, and here I'll have a function. So this having an error and docs. Okay. So now here, uh, what is that? I mean, what you have to pass it? I had to pass the employee ID, uh, but ID is going to be the this one. But how to get this is you have to pass the object ID of this, but you have to get the object ID also. I mean, how to get the object ID is, yeah, how to get object ID is, I think you can do so constant object ID is equal to, but we don't have MongoDB, right? I'll do one thing, constant MongoDB is equal to require, you can do MongoDB, yeah. So constant object ID is equal to MongoDB dot object ID. It's a bson. Yeah. So because this is one different data type of MongoDB, so we have to fetch like this way. So MongoDB dot object ID, you get the actual object ID. So this object ID, I need to substitute over here. Where is that ID? So I'm gonna pass underscore ID, because it's underscore ID, because see, it is underscore ID. Array. See, underscore ID value is object ID of the ID. Okay, so I'll do one thing. Here, uh, object ID of the employee ID. Okay, like this. Fine. Mm, Object ID of employee ID. I think it will work. Hmm. 1 second, the small confusion here. Shall I do like this? Object ID of employee ID is correct, but I think it's showing some error. Um, one net. I'll just go back to my. Uh, so I had done some examples. So yeah, object ID, MongoDB.object ID. I got it, and then we use it like this. Object ID of employee. Is correct, right? Yeah. Once again, object ID of employee ID is correct. Fine. And also one more thing. See, employee ID. The ID which you are passing from the URL is normal ID, and we are converting to number. But here, what is the ID which you have to pass is this one is a mix of numbers and strings. So you must not convert to number because as it is we have to substitute because in JSON it was ID number, but now it is not a number. It's a collection of alphanumeric characters. So it must not converge. The same employee ID has substitute as a object ID. Fine. And then you get let employees is equal to the docs and let's say response dot json. So I have to substitute the employees. Okay. So let's check this back to Insomnia software. So I'll make only fetch record. So I'll just create a new request, Control N, get request, get a single employee. So it's again get request, create. Yeah, to get a single employee, I need to pass the ID of it. Let me copy and I'll just paste it. Yeah. So now here, the employee ID I have to fetch. So I'll just take out this. Can we reach? Yeah, I need this particular ID. Copy and I'll just make employee slash that ID and click on send. Yes. So if I pass that particular ID in the URL, I got that person data. But I got data in a form of one array and object. I need only the first object of the array. So I'll just slightly modify. I just make docs of 0. So it's a only employee you get, and that's only employee object. We're gonna send it back. Okay, looks good. Now check. I got this employee object. Okay, fine.
Sir,
Ah,
sir, I have it down.
hmm.
In real time, we the developers cannot remember the lengthy ID like ID value. Like we are having a
Ah,
lot
ah,
of
ah, ah,
characters and string.
ah.
So how can we do like how can we bring the employee details? Because it is not easy for the
And
developers to remember those.
I understood. I understood. Thing is, see, when I make get all employees, na, first
Mm,
time when you fetch all the record, because when just imagine this is your application, okay?
mm,
In that I want to display all the employees data in a table column, right? Table format.
yeah. Okay.
So then if you want to display table data, you have to hit the command what you get all employees and click on sender. So all employees are getting from database. But in
Yes.
that we have ID also, right?
Yeah.
So we use this ID to send it back to fetch a particular record.
Okay.
And this ID come
Yeah.
from database only. Na. So the same
Mm,
ID, see assume this I have a table, all the records
mm,
are displayed table and only for the employee name I just make an anchor tag. So when I just click on the anchor tag, I'll just fetch the employee specific ID and that ID I'll form this particular URL and I just make it for each employee name. So when I click on each employee name, it automatically send it and it doesn't require to remember the ID also. That will manage with as a developer we'll just make with the program.
Can you repeat it for me? I did not get the clear one.
Yeah, see, first time when you want to get data in your tape, I mean website. So as
Mm.
soon as website is open, when you enter a URL, what happen? Your website has to hit the server side this command, I mean this URL to fetch the data. So this
Yes.
entire data comes to your client's application like a like array. So that
Yes.
array I'll loop it and display like a table. And
Oh.
then uh, if you want to display a particular employee record, you just click on a
Mm.
employee record. So as soon as you click on this employee record is having ID 2. So
ID.
this ID I will send as a one more request to the backend with this ID. Anyway, we got all IDs here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when I click on particular employee, that employee ID will be fetched and that will be sending to the server.
You.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as a user, you just need to know, I mean, which employee to click. That's it. In the
Okay.
backend, it will, I mean, the application itself, it will find out which is the ID to send it to the server.
Okay.
Understood, right?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay. So now I got employee. Yeah. So I got all employees and I got a single employee. That's done. And let's create a new employee. Okay. Let's create a new employee. Okay. That's a post request. So what we have done, we made a lot of things. We made read from JSON, create a max ID. We don't need max ID now because we are not using ID at all. This ID will be created automatically by the MongoDB. We don't need to worry about, and we don't need all this. Read, write, nothing required. I'll just delete everything from read file and I'll not require. Let me delete everything. Done. Okay. So what you do is just simply get database connection object. Yeah. So let db is equal to mongo dot get db and just say db dot collection of employees dot. So to create, we have a function called insert one. Okay, but what record? Oh, I removed that existing data. I need to fetch the data first. Oh, do one thing. Back to original. I need that employee data. Where is that? Yeah, this one. First name, last name. I need this actually. Um, can we get this first? Yeah. Let me cut this and demo everything. Yeah. So let's new employee is equal to one object. So in that, I'll make only this. So first name, last name, email, gender, IP address. So these fields can be filled by the client from the form, and that form data we're gonna fetch using request.body object. So we have already configured body parser, nothing to worry. We get the data over here. New employee. So I'll just make this get employee objects from clients form. Okay. Then this we have to insert. Insert means you need to get the database connection object. So how to get that is db let db is equal to mongo dot get db and I'll do db dot collection of employees dot insert one is a function. So I show you the exactly what I'm doing here. We have already done this. Go to our where is us? Not this one. DB operations. Not that one. Which one? Notes. Yeah, this one. So we made this one, right? So read operation, updates, delete. Yeah, I'll go to the standalone program. Yeah. See, previously how we have inserted the record is we create a static employee object and that employee object only we are passing to insert, right? But now this data is coming from the form data. So this
Right.
that object we have to insert in the same way like this. So I have done. db dot collection of employees dot insert one. I have to substitute the objects and the function. So what objects? The object which is come from the form. So that object I substitute, comma. So one function which having the error and the record. Okay. So in return, I'll just send response dot JSON the new employee object. Okay, that's it. So we are fetching the data from uh, a client's browser,
Form.
and that's what we are inserting into database. And let's check. Let me test this application with a post request slash employees. So back to Insomnia software. I'll just do a control N. So it's a create. It's a post request. Okay, so create a new employee and select the post request and click on create. Yeah. So post request, I need to make this URL, but I have to submit the form data. But form data required only this will underscore ID creates automatically by the browser. I mean by the MongoDB. Let's make these fields now, and please also check how many records. 10 records are there, and let's create some my own data. So just some foreign names are there. I'll just create some Indian names. Yeah. So go to body and form URL encoded. So I just say first underscore name. Correct, right? One second. First underscore name. Yeah. Let's make my name and last underscore name and email and gender and IP address. Okay, I'll just make 127.56.8 something. Okay, dot is missing. Yeah. So I'm creating a new record with these fields. Okay, and this let me substitute this request. Let me submit this post request. Click on send. So as soon as I send, see I got a first name, last name, email, gender, and underscore ID. It's created by the system itself. Okay, let me go back to the compass. Let me refresh. Still showing 10.
10.
I think not like that. It's not updated. I think. Let me go to the table. See this set. Yeah, see 11th record. So my name is inserted here. Okay, so gmail.com and the email ID, everything has come. I mean, IP address, everything has come here. So insertion successfully done. And you want to fetch, let me copy this particular ID and go to get a single employee. I'll just make that ID, substitute and click on send. See, I got my data. Yes. So we can able to fetch all the records, single record, and we can able to create also. Let me update the record also. Okay, for updates, we have to modify the program here, updates. So previously how we are updating is we are making with what you call JSON. Let me delete everything. I don't need anything here like this. Delete. Okay. So get employee ID. So it must not convert to number because I get alphanumeric characters. Yeah. So get. So let db is equal to mongo dot get db. Yeah. So just do when you want to update, you can do find and updates. I'll just tell you the function now. But I think you have to fetch in the MongoDB. Yeah, let me go to once because I just need to know the syntax exactly. I just go to MongoDB. Let me go to docs, and so here drivers. I need a Node.js driver. in this tutorial. This Node.js driver actually URL. Here I can do the code operation. Okay, so in this insert over update something, update and yeah, updating, update one, update many, something is there. Yeah, so let's make update one directly. Yeah, so call dot update one, so the ID and set with what data, and then do that. Okay, okay, fine, I got it. Update one. So let's make db dot collection of what employees dot update one record. And what is the record you're gonna update? I'm already getting the ID, so that ID I have to update. So I'll just make an object like this. So underscore ID will be the object ID of the employee ID. So whose ID I want to update is this particular employee ID I want to update, comma. I'll make dollar set with the object. So what to set to you there? I'll just set the data. So anyway, data has to come from database. I mean, from the form. So I'll just say let updated employee is equal to one object. I'll just get object like the same way because both are from the form only. So I'll just paste it. Then, so update employee is equal to first name, last name, how to send it, and ID is coming from the URL, and this is coming from form data. So now update what? I just substitute directly object. That's updated employee. Okay, I think here, comma. So one function. So this will give you the error and the record. Okay. So this is a function to update db dot collection of employees dot update one. So whose employee I'm updating is underscore ID. I have to get the update object ID and update set employee. So here actually set what variable. I mean, I just show you our example. See how we are updating is, yeah, see db dot collection of employee update ID set age equal to 42, designation equal delivery manager. We just pass a few records to update, but here I pass the whole object to replace. Okay, so that looks good. I mean the same way. Yeah, okay, it's done. And as a response, what you do is response dot JSON. So I'll make what do you call the updated employee I want to return back. Yeah, so let me test this URL from the put request for this ID as well. I'll just go to my Insomnia. I'll do a control N new request. So it's a put request updates an existing employee. So it's a put request. Let me select puts and click on create. Yeah, I have to pass the ID, copy, paste. Yeah. So what employee I want to update? See, I'll just show you. See, employee this ID you take. Some person named Amata widows something is there. I want to update this with my own data. So let me copy this ID and I have to pass the ID over here and I have to fill in the form with what data you want to update. I want to update first name. I want to update with Rajan and last name. I want to update with Jain and email, right? Yeah, email I want to update with Rajan at infosys.com and uh, gender is male and IP underscore address. I'll make some address like some 198.78.45.12 something. So let's just do one thing. Get a single employee. I'll make that URL and sender. See, this is having first name Amata Widows and something was there. I am just updating with my own data. So I'll just send a put request to the same ID, but I fill in some other details. When I click on send, yes. So first name Rajan, thus everything has updated, but you didn't get the object
I
ID because see this is the response which is coming from the server. So in server as a response, what I'm doing is updated employee. That employee doesn't have the ID. Okay, that's why it is just doing like that. So I think something wrong went. But how does updated ID? Let me try. Back to get all employees. Send. Yeah, it is updated. Okay, no problem. If you don't send, okay, understood. So actually, here this employee having many records, right? But I just update only age and designation. So remaining all the fields left empty. I mean, as it is. Same thing happen. If you, even though you don't pass I underscore ID, so if you don't pass means it keep as it is. If you're passing means it'll change,
okay.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't pass ID, but it's remained the same because I want ID to be remain same. Yeah. So let's check. It's Rajan Jain Infosys mail. That's a first employee. Let's check here. Uh, it was Amita something. Let me refresh. Yeah, it is changed to Rajan Jain at infosys.com mail and my email IP address. Done. So we have done the operations like get all, get single, create, update, and one last thing is delete. So below this, delete employee. I got employee ID, so I don't need to pass anything here, and I don't need to read file. Delete. Okay. So get employee. Sorry. Get database connection object. So here let's db is equal to mongo dot get db, and what you do is so db dot collection of employees dot delete one record. So what record is I just pass the underscore id will be my object id of employee id, employee id, and then you get a function. This function returns an error and record. Okay, so but I don't have any object to pass here, so I'll just make a simple normal response. Response dot json. I'll just say backtick. So employee with ID. I'll just get the ID. Just employee ID is deleted. Okay, so this is a function delete one, and this ID you want is a condition. So which ID you pass, that ID will be deleted from the database. Let's save it. So back to here, I create a new request for delete for ID. So I just make control N. So it's a delete request. Delete an existing employee. Okay, it's a delete request. Delete and create. Yeah, let's make a URL. It's same like this one. Yeah, but which employee you want to remove? I want to remove this one. Justin Skipper bottom something is there. I want to remove this person, so I have to pass his ID. Let me copy the ID back to here. I'll just paste and click on send. Employee with ID is deleted. Let me refresh. There is no Justin. Okay, let me delete every data and let me make out the entire database to be clean, and then we'll make it uh, from from the scratch. Empty records. Send. Deleted. Send. Deleted. Copy. deleted. Let me refresh. Data gone. Or else you do one thing. Delete from here. Yeah. So now table is there, but there is no records at all in database. But let me fetch all employees. Click on send. You get nothing, empty array, because no data. Let me create a new record. So what to do? Post, create new employee. So here I'm just filling my data only. First name, last name, email, gender, IP address, and click on send. So it's created. Let me go refresh. Yes, one record is created. Name, last name, email, gender, IP address. It's done. One record created. Let's make one more request. So let's make Rajan something Jane, and let's make Rajan h gmail.com. It's a mail, something called 198.56.23.45. Okay, let me send. One more record created. Let me refresh. Yeah, two records. So now when I get all employees and click on send, yes, I got the two records. When you want to fetch a single record, let me copy the ID. That's my name. So I go to single record. Let me paste the ID over there and send. I got a single record. And if you want to fetch Rajan, copy the ID back to here and I'll just paste it. Click on send. I got Rajan data. And then so get over, post over, get single over, updates. So for updates, I'll make Rajan ID. I update with something called Lara, something called Wilson. Let's make something called Lara H Oracle.com and female, and let's make an ID of something 145.56.23.28. Let me click on send. Now it's changed to Lara. So let me refresh. See, same ID changed to Lara Wilson, Oracle.com, female, and ID is done. And one last thing is delete. So make a delete. Let me copy this Lara ID back to here. I'll just paste it here. Click on send. Employee deleted. Refresh. No data. Let me copy this ID also. Copy and let me delete. Send it. Deleted. Refresh. Gone. So when I fetch all employees, get no data. Okay. So now we have successfully converted all the JSON things to the database, but only one thing we have to change is because we are doing only local database. Okay, so the plan is you have to modify this URL with the cloud URL. Okay, so that you can try. Only just replace this with the cloud URL so that it will do the same operations can be done with cloud URL, because I have already showed you how to do database operations with the cloud. I think in the app.cloud, yes, yeah, only you have to pass the URL, so it perform the operations. So and local we have already done. So this is the local URL and that's the cloud. Just replace that one and you can also make the cloud operations. So that's it. So enough for this. Okay, so now backend is successfully finished. I mean, we have done with Node, Express, and MongoDB. So as a full stack developer, if you know up to here is enough. And then from tomorrow's class, we're going to start TypeScript. Okay, so again, TypeScript come for the client now. So after TypeScript, we'll start Angular. Okay, so TypeScript hardly 1 week, not 1 week, just 3-4 days we'll finish off. Some oops concepts are there we will discuss, and also TypeScript is actually a superset of JavaScript. It means almost same syntax only, but change. I mean, programmatically same only, but some different syntaxes will be there. So that we're gonna see what exactly TypeScript, how to convert to JavaScript, and how to execute. So, and the concepts of TypeScript we'll see, and then immediately we'll start Angular. Okay. So any questions?
Sir, uh, sir, hello.
Yeah,
So yesterday we discussed about this database driver. So
database driver, huh?
uh, so this driver will be using to connect only the local and cloud database when we're
Yeah,
using the
yes,
standard.
same driver.
Oh no no, I'm asking that only we'll be using when we are doing any standalone application like a standalone JavaScript or I
From website also.
okay. So when now here we are using server, right?
I understood. See, in the cloud we use database driver. What is the driver? Require MongoDB. So driver is a sense in Node.js language. It is one third-party module. So
Yeah.
if you go to the package.json, we install MongoDB third-party module, and we use that
Mm,
same module like Mongo client. And same thing we use for our server also, because obviously driver is required because this driver only contains actually calls to the database, right? See,
yes.
in our application, we have package.json, we have MongoDB. This is what driver, right?
Mm,
And I have also used that. See, require MongoDB dot lines. Okay, so obviously that is required because when you want to perform operations with database, so you must required. I mean, driver. Without driver, we can't call the functions also. Now, see, I show you. I think in the router. See, we are making db.collection.insert one and find these functions are from driver only. Na?
okay.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Fine.
So that's it, and thank you so much for
And
joining.
you
And
said
yeah,
sir yesterday, like that even the driver is different, no matter which we use. Like if we use MongoDB with you said like C sharp or anything, like it different, right? The driver is or
yeah,
with
yeah. It's
Java
different.
with.
It's different. We are using Node.js, so we are using Node.js driver. I think I show you here. I think back to yeah. See, here if you click on driver, when you are developing a Node.js application, you have to use Node.js driver. So in Node.js driver is a sense, it's again a third-party module. You can install like this. But if you're using Java, you can install that using there's something called Maven. For us, we have npm Node Package Manager, and for them they have Maven. So from Maven they'll install like this. So com.mongodb dot something. This is again a Java way of doing it. And if you have
Right,
a
right.
C
Yeah.
hash .NET, and that's on having its own driver. And if you go for Python, it's something called PyMongo. Yes, PyMongo driver. So like that. And we need
Yeah,
Node.js
actually,
driver. Hmm.
it's not a new concept because even in Java with MySQL or Java
Yes,
with
yes,
Oracle,
it's
we
it's
need
there.
different
It's
driver.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. JDBC.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. I think
Okay.
now you got it.
Thanks.
So that's it. And so thank you so much for joining. And tomorrow we're gonna start TypeScript. Okay, so backend is successfully finished, and you please just test it. And I also shared this video. I mean, video and files now. Okay, so thank you.